Tens of millions of dangerous criminals were allowed to invade our country. Honest Texans won't let it stand.
I'm Commander Jay Furman, retired naval aviator and one of the first military officers to stand up against the vaccine mandates.
We need leaders who will fight for what's right, not themselves.
We will remind DC we're in charge. That is the mission. Let's go. I'm Commander Jay Furman, and I approve this message.
All right. I think we're live. Welcome, everybody, to the Daily Commander's Brief Town Hall. Welcome, everybody, here to ask questions of their public leaders. It's a town hall format. You should have access to people that you're hiring to send to Congress to represent your interests. And that's what we're doing every day. I'm going to talk about a little bit what's going on in the news, take your questions, and then we're going to go straight over to volunteer training. 15 minutes. Let's get this done. All right. Great news today for the Trump economy. Numbers are beating all expectations. Inflation is down unexpectedly. The experts keep on getting stumped by the Trump economy. I love it. Rachel, it's amazing. This is Rachel Trevino. She's press secretary and running all of this show here and bringing our concept to reality of being accessible and creating a two-way conversation and then taking back our nation together. I'm just here to facilitate that as your representative in application. So here we go.
Let us know where you're tuning in from.
Yep, that'd be great. Look, it's important we get engaged right now. We got the president elected. Awesome. Now he needs us to get around him and support him to put it through to law and to pull us back from the cliff that we're sliding off of. The Biden economy is slayed. Inflation is now 2.4 and headed towards the target of 2.0 or 2% inflation is the target. That is healthy inflation. And prices are down. The GDP is up, the gross domestic product. So the nation is making more money. Private salaries are up by, on average, about $2,000 a year for the average working American. That's fantastic news. The jobless rate is down. The price of eggs are down 30%. It's working. Gas is down, the whole thing. So President Trump is putting to action all of his campaign promises as he does. He doesn't miss one of them. He's moving out and he will get to all of them. I know we're impatient for arrests and locking people up. Awesome. First, we have to defend our nation and get the invaders out because there are millions of terrorists among those 25 million that came in. We got to get them all out and restart our beautiful story of American immigration. We are an immigrant nation, and that is our secret sauce, but it has to be done correctly, safely, and people who assimilate and come into the American umbrella of our Judeo-Christian culture and legal system. We can't have Sharia. And to make this thing work, we have to be the organs, the feet on the ground, as it were, and we've got to do that now more than ever in this political campaign. I know politics are something that people get tired of. I do get tired of it, but look, it's going to impact you whether you want it to or not. It will reach your kitchen table whether you want it to or not. So better to have a voice in it and make sure it reaches your kitchen table the way you want it to. In my book, that's less federal government. In fact, a heck of a lot less. The president is deregulating. He's doging DC. We're doing that. We are dismantling the laundromat that DC has become. They're sending all our federal dollars out to the states in the form of Medicaid assistance to the states, and it's going into corrupt politicians' hands and other foreign actors. I tell you what, we've been funding our own destruction. We didn't even know it. But for President Trump standing in the breach for us, but we have to get around him and protect him so he can finish his job. And you've got to send me to Congress so that he can have more votes there. It's ridiculous that we have separate DHS here funding in this latest bill on the appropriations path. And we don't know if we're going to get it funded because we don't have enough support for the president in Congress. It's ridiculous. The SAVE Act, something as simple as having a voter ID at the election booth and having a proof of citizenship to register to vote if you have a federal candidate in the election. This seems basic. 80% of Americans, actually north of 80, almost 90% of Americans, all That's all demographics support voter ID at the voting booth. Yet the Democrats cry this false claim that it's discriminatory. It's just the opposite. You have to have an ID, a library book, folks. We all know this. We all know it's a lie. We all know that they rely on fake elections to get elected. They need the illegals in here to help cover their fake elections, to cover their corruption. And we're not going to have it anymore because it will mean the destruction of this nation. I got activated in this when I came home from serving overseas in some of the worst borders, understanding what weaponized mass migration does, killing a country, and how it is intentional. We are in the middle of that. So we're going to slide over and get some questions here.
Philip, we have Philip tuning in. Thanks for your comments. Yes, you're absolutely, you pin the nose, pin it straight on the nose that 35 does need Jay Furman for this district, for Wilson County, Karnes County, Guadalupe, and Bear. If you live in those districts, you need to drag your friends, your neighbors, your family out to vote. And if you are bordering those districts, you don't have to live in those counties to help us out. We've seen a lot of expressed interest from people in other areas, and the big question is that we put to rest. You don't have to live in those counties if you want to help the commander. Philip's got a question. He says at another forum that he thinks doctors, or the question was, should doctors be required to disclose clearly to veterans the dangers of their medication? Could you get behind something like that?
Well, I tell you what, as a vaccine mandate whistleblower for the COVID vaccine, I absolutely think our doctors should be what we all thought they were. It turns out they're getting paid per injection by Big Pharma. When I blew the whistle, I was pushing. I took my whistleblower report, which was done with me and 5 Patriot lawyers, that documented chapter and verse of the Secretary of Defense, Lloyd Austin, and on down. The commanders in the chain of command had broken the law on 2 U.S. codes and illegally forced, were trying to force our service members, and many experiences even outside of service, to take the shot. And I cried foul. And they didn't like it. I marched up and down Capitol Hill as an active duty naval officer, trying to get them to listen to me. I found my way on Tucker talking about it. No one wanted to talk to me on the Hill. Why? I found out that Big Pharma is that's 2 times the amount of lobby money spent in D.C. than the defense lobby. And we all know how huge that is. So, it's a money game. We send too much money and power to D.C. They're doing too much. It's outside of the Constitution. And so we need to reduce their workload and then send people like me to Congress that aren't career politicians and that have been proven in places that are incorruptible folks, because it takes about a week to corrupt most of the folks there. There are good patriots in Congress, but we don't have enough of them. We got to send more to Congress. My biggest fear is this open seat, which is going to be fire support for the president, gets filled by a rhino. We do that, then we create more of the problems. The rhinos, the people, the fake Republicans, are the people that put us into the Biden economy, that put us, that opened the Biden border, that put us in the situation we are. Why? Because the Democrats all vote together. They're very disciplined. And then we have enough fake Republicans that go and side with them on the moments that matters the most. There's 3 of them in this election. In this race, there's 3 rhinos. There's 3 insider politicians in here that are related or work with politicians who have terrible records. One, we're talking about, voting only about half of the MAGA agenda. We're talking about another one who has the worst legislative record for a Republican in the state legislature. And rated the most liberal Republican. We don't need those fake ones. This race is going to be won in this primary because we are a strong Republican CD now. We're a strong Republican congressional district. The district is South and East San Antonio, or Bexar County, and all of Guadalupe County, all of Wilson County, and all of Karnes County. So we're going to send a Republican, but we don't want to send a Republican in name only. We're going to send a fire-breathing, Trump-supporting, tested patriot to the Congress to support the president. We cannot have somebody else in there faking it. That's my biggest fear here. So let's take a few more questions, and then we go over the training.
Steve, hey, Steve, glad to see you back again. Steve's asking, what do you think about Border Patrol and other people that committed treason for paychecks and pensions? He also says, funny but true, that people who took medical advice from actors and politicians are going to be in for a rough ride. And
yeah, I tell you what, a lot of people were fooled. It was a terrible situation. We had no idea how big of a Alice in Wonderland or whatever the metaphor, Wizard of Oz stage we were all kind of living on. But we know now, and there's no excuse now. The Border Patrol agents who, unfortunately, that's one of the few federal agencies you have to take a lie detector test to get hired. it's pretty hard to get hired. But it is true, there is a portion of them that are corrupted. Even today, we know that some of the rat lines that people are still crawling in. It's a trickle on the border for human traffic. They're still sending over via, and we all know that I don't know if you know, but El Paso was shut down the other day, the airspace, because cartel drones were coming in and delivering their packages of fentanyl and whatnot. And that's happening up and down the border. Border Patrol, who breach their trust, the nation's trust, because they are our front line of defense, absolutely should be held to account. If we don't hold people accountable, then we can't, we can't expect, the result of them executing the laws as we want them to. We can't do that. We create a culture of corruption. All people, wherever you are in the world, wherever I've been in the world, people are, they kind of spread into the space you give them. And I demand accountability, and everybody should. That's the Christian way. That is the American way, checks and balances. And anybody that did fall foul of the law absolutely should be investigated. So thanks for that question. We'll take one more and then we get over the training, because we got to get on the doors, guys. We got to take our district.
Yeah, Steve was saying he lost. We're sorry to hear that, Steve. A lot of people were unnecessarily fired. It's a tragedy. Hopefully you've gotten, thank God you live in the state of Texas, and we have to do everything we can to keep Texas the monstrosity engine that it is. And thank God Trump's doing everything he can to do that. Texas stands on legs of its own in this economy. And if we don't fight for that, if we don't go fight for our rights, that's we're going to be up against that again in the next whatever COVID iteration that we see where they're forcing this. Unfortunately, so many people have taken it that already we've seen so much of the aftermath that our health is already so compromised, which might be past.
Yeah, and I'll put a plug in. There are if you are a regretting COVID vaccine taker, this is just a personal stick. This is not part of my platform. But I tell my friends and relatives that there are ways that they can clean that stuff out of their system. It takes quite a while, but check out Peter McCullough at drpetermccullough.com. That'll help. Good on you, Steve, for standing up against that. It is incredibly difficult, and it takes a massive steel backbone to do it. And I tell you what, all of us need encouragement to stand in the breach like Steve did. And so we need to pull together. This is community driven. CD35, Take Back Our Nation, Support the President is community driven. And so we all need to pull together and support each other in all the various challenges. So, all right. So we're good here.
We're good on Zoom right now, so we can hang out a little bit longer.
Okay.
Philip is saying that Brandon Herrera is leading over Tony Gonzalez right now, known Rhino. I'm not sure if that's something you want to address or not, but by all means, I've never. Let's see this one. I've seen with my own eyes how Hispanic friends and coworkers treated like dirt because of their skin color and last names.
Well, I tell you what, we're Texans. Look, we defended the Alamo together. The Texicans, I call them Texicans, but the Tejanos and the Texians fought together in the Alamo. And really, this is our land together. We made a new nation in our founding as a state. We were a true republic. And that's why we can have our flag at the same height as the American flag. We're the only state that can do that because we were a former nation state. And we did that with the folks that were here. And the folks that were here were both Anglo and Hispanic. And I tell you, another little known fact, that the Anglos that came over from the East Coast to be landed when it was still a Spanish possession, they married Spanish ladies. And I tell you, so we've always had a rich history of a people that are our own. I would submit with Tejano music and others. We have our own culture. The folks that I have a problem with, and we lied to them, but the people came in during the Biden years illegally and ran in through the border. We're told that, hey, doors open, it's Disney World, come on in. And we started handing them stuff. They didn't have to work for anything. It's a totally different person that was coming over. They're angry, and they expected things. And all of my friends that ranch and do other things around the border, experience a completely different person coming over. Everybody that comes over needs to be documented, legal, and invited. We don't right now. We've got so many problems right now that we cannot handle just a free for all at all. They need to come at the time of our choosing. The folks that we select to come, we need to make sure that they're correct, vetted, and that they can plug in and assimilate to the American system. So it's incredibly important we get this right, and we're gonna have to hit a reset, because the bad guys among the 25 million people that came in, and that's my number, because so many people in the dark of night we don't even know. That's also the president's number. the bad ones aren't going to raise their hand and say, oh, I'm a terrorist, I'm about to attack you next month. They won't tell us, and we have to push them all out and then restart it. It's unfortunate that we were attacked like that, but we were. My national security perspective, living overseas, watching color revolutions, is exactly how it happens. So we have to reclaim our sovereignty and hit our beautiful story, hit the reset button, our beautiful story of immigration as a nation once again. But right now we have a real problem. We have the baddest hombres from all over the world here that came in as wolves in sheep's clothing. I keep using that analogy, but it's a perfect one. Anything else?
Let's see. Can you speak Spanish?
Muy poco. I was a kid that went over to Mexico. I rode the night bus into the interior of Mexico. I miss my Mexico that I remember. It's no longer that right now. I pray that Mexico will come back. It won't under Sheinbaum. I don't believe. She's absolutely owned by cartel in China. So, I could, to answer Chris' question directly, I can speak enough to get on the chicken bus and end up in San Miguel de Allende or, any of the other beautiful cultural heritage of Mexico that we used to go to. Even Mexico City, I went as a very young child and stayed with host families. So I can speak some, but I'm always learning. And I can understand it far more than I can actually speak it. So I won't intimate that I'm fluent at all. But I speak Portuguese and French, and probably working not enough not to get killed. Spanish.
Right. And now with AI can translate into hundreds of languages with those new glasses. Speaking of AI, I see that we have some people who are entrepreneurs or hustling every day, not just a proud Mexican myself, we definitely tip the scales in the amount of hours and how hard we work. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the economy. What do you guys think about AI? What are your biggest concerns? Obviously, we're past COVID years and mandated vaccines. But beyond that, any opinions? Thank you for all the
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Let's see where else. So again, another reminder, I'm curious where you guys are tuning in from, if it's just Texas or if it's South Texas, if it's any one of our counties, if you guys are going to vote, what day you plan to vote. We have apps. We have the website, commanderfurman.com. Again, hit the like button on our Facebook page. You can follow the commander on Twitter, on X, on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, really all the socials on Truth. You got to plug Trump's Truth.
Yep. Absolutely. And I tell you what, we need to 10x what we're doing here. So I need everybody to hang around for the training. Do we have Tim's video queued up for the stream?
I don't think we do right now, but we could.
Okay. So we're doing the training via Zoom right now. And we're going to drop that, put that on our socials. So they have that link and then they can jump over to Zoom. We need your help. It's as simple as downloading this app. And then it'll look at your contacts, and then the folks that we're trying to target that you just send a text to. That's the easiest way to get involved. We would love it. Also, do.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, there it is. Let's get Tim. All right, so Tim Lucier is our volunteer coordinator on the ground. He's actually knocking doors right now, and we're gonna do a quick training video. But
please sign up on Commander Furman's
okay, rewind that.
Contact
please.
Campaign volunteer. This is it.
All right.
All right. This is the Commander. Tim. I'm a volunteer on behalf of Commander Furman. We're getting out the vote for the upcoming primary. Commander Furman is an American First Patriot. He's a Trump Republican. He's fighting to save and save the country and fight for President Trump's agenda in Congress. Let's see, Jennifer. This is Tim with Commander Jay Furman's campaign for U.S. Congress. There's a Republican election coming up on March 3rd. Are you voting in the upcoming primary, and are you voting for Commander Jay Furman for Congress? All right. Maybe I missed you. Sorry about that. Thanks so much for voting. God bless. All right, so that's a quick 5-minute overview. Thanks for everybody watching. That's a quick overview. So if you have any questions, please email the campaign. commanderfurman@gmail.com is one way, and then commanderfurman.com is the website. So appreciate you guys voting, and thanks for watching. Quick training. Thanks again. Bye-bye.
All right, you heard it from Tim in the field, volunteer coordinator. Thanks, guys, for hanging on this long. Appreciate it. We will do trainings every week. I would like to charge everybody that cares about the ground they're standing on. Invite people to join us at this 4 p.m. call, just for a daily check-in. Bring your questions, and then sit there for just another second longer. Download the Numenar app. Go to our webpage, put in your email, and we can send you the access to that to be able to download it. We have to take your email in, and then we'll send you the link to do that to then be part of our group. There's also Commander Furman app in the App Store and in the Play Store as well, and you can engage that way. But let's do this together. Please do contact us. It's a two-way conversation, as it should be, and we're going to change things right here, right now. But if we don't get up and act, then we'll lose this opportunity. And it's a one-time. We only have one president by the name of Trump, and this is our moment. Go ahead. What's that? Another question? Are we taking another question?
We have a couple more. Yeah, sure.
Okay. Do you think Border Patrol
would be doing internal checkpoints if they made Henry Cuellar and his brother sit on the ground like dogs because of their skin color or last name?
I don't know how to answer that, Steve. Henry Cuellar is absolutely a crook, and the guy I ran against last time, his brother and he are involved in a lot of stuff. So, so hopefully we can vote him out at the polls. I got redistricted to the new 35, no longer in 28. But you should know I'm doing an election challenge there because of what they did to me in Webb County. That's still pending. So I've got 2 fights going. Why? Because it matters. If we don't have elections, we don't have anything. And we're hoping to get some case law and some precedent there that all of us can use. And as you said, hold them accountable so we get the right behavior out of people and put the bad ones away. Arresting criminals is a great solution.
Hey, Jay, quick question on the SAVE Act. Trump just tweeted our truth that he's going to mandate somehow federally that there'll be voter ID, and then Susan Collins just announced that she supports the SAVE Act in the Senate, which I think is now 51 senators supporting that. You see this act passing? That's
huge. Right. Well, we have to do a standing filibuster or force a standing filibuster in the Senate so that we can get that passed in a natural majority vote. I hope they can do it. And Susan Collins, who doesn't usually vote with her fellow Republicans, is coming back, back across the right side of the lines, definitely in the rhino category. But it could be consequential right now. That's great. So good news there. Maybe we do have a path and get the SAVE Act done. Absolutely essential we do that. It's just basic common sense. And anybody that's against the SAVE Act, I would say, is not American, doesn't believe in the free electoral system. There's no way that what's in the SAVE Act is any bit discriminatory whatsoever. That's our position. All right. Great biblical reference, Steve. I think we are living in the end times, but we have to carry the torch until all the way to the end. And there's still people that haven't heard the good news of Jesus Christ. So we got to launch forward. And America has been the absolute best platform for that. We're not perfect, far from it, but we do throughout history have held ourselves accountable. It takes strong back people like we talked about before, and yourself, it sounds like you count among them, to bring us back to repentance. I tell you what. Just another personal aside here. You can see who I am. All the stuff we're talking about, the politics, as important as it is, and we have to do it, it's still a Band-Aid solution. What really has to happen is America has to have another great revival. Our form of government is not designed for an amoral or an inactive electorate. It doesn't work. and autocracy or any sort of dictatorship or top-down governance throughout history has miserably failed, especially something as complicated as the U.S. And so we absolutely have to be mindful of the greater story. We are in a battle of good versus evil. We are in a battle of God versus Satan here. And this is Satan's ground for a while, but this is the moment. Let's call it the tryout that we all have to answer calls, and we can all accept or reject the invitation of and the free gift and the grace and sacrifice of our Lord Jesus Christ. So thanks for that question. I absolutely believe we're living in the end times. When it is, we don't know. We don't know the day or the hour. So that's why we have to be ready.
Philip's asking what do you think is being done with drugs that are seized on the border. Question.
Well, I mean, we're not doing anything with them besides just locking them up. It's we need to think about fentanyl, and that's what's moving a lot on the border as a bioweapon. It is with a street value of about 25 cents a pill at the height of the Biden era. It wasn't coming in to make money. China was financing it to undo us. And it's being, cut and split and put on all kinds of other drugs. But there was enough fentanyl that was imported in this country that would kill every man and woman in the U.S. Several times over. It wouldn't be hard to aerosolize it or put it in the water or whatever. It's just another form of hyper warfare. We are in total war right now, unrestricted warfare. America needs to realize that no longer are we safe from two big oceans and two docile neighbors, or friendly neighbors, I should say. This is existential. Our dollar is being attacked. Our culture is being attacked with the intent to bring us down, and we let in their stormtroopers through the open border. So we are at war. We need to think about it like that, and we need to understand the different vector. Total war means cyber. Total war means economy. Total war means lawfare. Total war means economic warfare. Total war means cultural warfare. This is right out of the KGB playbook, and all of our enemies are convenient bedfellows right now. They're working together because they have a common enemy, and we need to realize that. And truly, it is the conservative Republicans that are the vanguard. We are standing in the breach. Democrats are full loony, co-opted, and the rhinos establishment are absolutely being manipulated by our enemies or our own folks that are doing things that will bring us down. And so just as well for China, Russia, Iran, the rest. So, we have to, it's for the sake of the entire nation, and maybe they'll think this one day, probably not, but who cares? We have to keep America free. We absolutely have to realize that we are at war. And again, I'll refer back to Stephen's point about Revelations. What is it? 2 Corinthians 3:17. Where the Spirit is, the Holy Spirit is, that there is freedom. We have to have that in the heart of men and women again. So that, and Christians need to be involved in the political process. We can't be the silent Christians any longer. The fallacy of separation of church and state is just that. It's a fallacy. Christians have to be involved in the state, and we have to bring our morals with us. Not that we're a theocracy by any means. That's what we're trying to keep out with Sharia. That's a theocracy. I would say it's a theocracy, not a religion, in many ways. At least in the way that the jihadis practice it, and jihadism is central to their ethos. All right. I think we're good on questions. We did our training. I think go to
commanderfurman.com. Let us know that you want to sign up to vote. We're having a Super Saturday tomorrow. Love to see you all there. We'll be face to face. I'd love to meet you guys in person. If you're close by, you have the address. We're going to be at Black Rifle.
Black Rifle Coffee in Live Oak
by IKEA right there. We will on our page. Again, we can't implore you enough just to go share the message, share Jay's page. It's the quickest, fastest way to reach all your friends, all your family, and get them to go vote. Gamify it. See how many friends you can get to vote. Let us know on our app too that you went to go vote. Enter to win some swag from the commander based on how many people you got to vote, and even if you went to go vote yourself. So
if you come out and help me, and you register on the app, and there's all kinds of ways you get involved on that app. Then we will hook you up. We'll give you some cool stuff.
We have the campaign T-shirts that you can enter to win. the app, the website, and the event for tomorrow. Is that it? Anything else that we need to remind them about?
That's it. This is our touch point. This is our hitching post. 4 p.m. every day. You can see what's going latest in the campaign and get involved, and then bring your friends. Bring your friends. Bring your friends. Bring your friends. It matters. If you care about any of the issues, we're going to take care of this campaign is going to take care of the first issues first, because we got to send the right Republicans to help the president. The most important thing to this nation is kicking out the invaders and protecting the dollar. The president's doing masterful on both. In Minneapolis was a good example of the sort of color revolution we're among. That was a test. It will multiply if we don't get ahead of this thing. It'll be the BLM summer of 2.0, but much, much worse. And they mean for that to disrupt our elections, disrupt our peace, our safety, disrupt our economy, faith and confidence of the world around us, who we trade with. And so we have to do those two things, because our safety, our security, safety or security and economy are I say often are two sides of the same coin. You have to pay for it. It's been that way since our founding. So we have to have a strong economy, support our security, and then we can get on to all the other things that are incredibly important. We have to build correct cases so they stick on all the crooks that we're finding. We have to, look, everything else will watershed after that. The president has done more in this year than any president in any time, times many. And so, you know what? He's the captain of the ship right now. He's steering it. You can only have one at the helm, one rudder, and we got to get around and help him do that.
We didn't give him the update from yesterday's exciting news. The other candidate, Rod Lynch, was running in this district in 35. So we've been at forums and debates, fascinating perspectives, a great book. But you want to tell him what?
Yeah, Rob surprised us today. He got up at great American, a retired F-111 Air Force pilot, stood up when he was introduced himself at the group we were at today, a large group of Bexar County Republican women.
Shout out to them.
Yep, it was fantastic. Stood up, introduced himself, and then he said, "I endorse Jay Furman's candidacy for this office, and I will be doing that every day since." So, thank you, Rod. Phenomenal. I'm humbled and honored. A great American, great patriot. And we're gonna, he has the same goals we have.
And
so
folks, that's it. I mean, Jay carried Guadalupe County by 70% of Guadalupe County voted for Jay in the last election. Nearly 40% in Bexar County voted for Jay.
Nearly
50% voted for Jay in Bexar County last election. So considering that we haven't really stopped, we have not pumped the brakes on the campaign. Think about how much more that means. And I say that to you because it's so important. I've been singing from the sheet of music. Do not waste your vote. Even if you like another guy, there are a lot of likable candidates, but just because they are likable doesn't mean that they are prepared or have the experience to go represent you, especially, South Texas interest in DC. You need somebody who's tested, and Jay's experience is, 6 generations of military. I mean, he's got, he's got family in his 2 sons, one in the air.
He's serving right now.
Both of them. And that's the kind of leadership that we need. I always say you better, you have to have waited tables to be served. You have to have served your country to serve your voter, any voter base, the public. And that's exactly what Jay has. This is, hundreds of years, a couple hundred years of family service. So even though, again, there are great candidates, and it's good to see that we need good candidates to run, but none as qualified. And don't take my word for it. Take iVoter Guide just came out and released, and we talked about it a little bit. I don't know.
iVoterGuide.com or .org?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, Google iVoter Guide, not iVoters, iVoter singular guide.
Tell them a little bit about the criteria for.
Well, right. So they actually have a data analysis. They look at everything I've ever said. They scrape the entire internet. They look at things we put out. They have surveys.
Fiscal organizations, advocacy groups, pro-life groups, pro-gun groups,
other people that support me,
pro-family groups,
and why. And so they came out with me as the most conservative candidate. Everybody else was less conservative. And so that was a great honor in my mind, that, and I think that's what we need in DC, folks that are back to, root American principles, traditional family, and constitutionalism. That the Constitution should do 3 things. If I hadn't already said it, I say all the time. If I repeat myself, I apologize, but it bears repeating. The Constitution, you just kind of boil it down. 3 things they should be doing in DC for us: national defense, interstate commerce, and foreign affairs. Full stop. They shouldn't be involved in the other things. We're a republic, meaning we are 50 separate sovereign states that come under the United States. And so all the other things that if we decide we want government to help us with those things should be done at the state level. I'd submit that many things we don't need the government to help us with. I can decide, how to deploy my money way more, and we can, help people in our neighborhood way better than the government can. Obviously, with the fraud, waste, and abuse we've seen in Minnesota, New Jersey, Ohio, California, et cetera, through Medicaid, and I think that's tip of the iceberg. So, all right, yeah, thanks for bringing that up. I forgot about that. A lot of great endorsements. I'm a fighter, folks. I'm endorsed by fighters: General Flynn, Peter Tickton, Roger Stone, Rudy Giuliani, Stephen Williford. So that's what we're going to do when we get
Republican
to DC.
men of San Antonio.
Yeah, Republican men just endorsed.
Chris Bird, one of the best constitutional attorneys out there that you can find, represented Texas in some major cases, a major COVID case that involving tons of doctors who were bringing subpoena against Dr. Fauci. So yeah, some tremendous leaders, some people who have been, waving the flag for decades here. Not just Jay himself, but those are the kind of people that we need behind us, including all of your support. So we can't thank you enough for tuning in. Again, we're getting ready for our block walking on Saturday.
Yeah,
so,
plug that again, time, date.
So we're going to be meeting
place.
at Black Rifle Coffee between 9 and 10 a.m. So come get your
Black
coffee.
Rifle Coffee in Live Oak.
In Live Oak, yes.
Well, next to IKEA. Let's just say it's next to IKEA. That's the IKEA right off the highway. So that's easiest. So
yeah. So come join us for your cup of Morning Joe. Meet Jay in person and
knock on some doors. Let's get this done. All right. Time to move out. Thank you, Rachel. Anything from the field, Tim? Nope. Okay, we're good. All right, signing off. See you tomorrow, 4 p.m. But before that, Black Rifle Coffee.
Yes. Cheers, guys.